What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel where we speak the truth, we're honest, we give our takes on professional wrestling. It is Saturday night, and you know what that means. We're here to talk about WWE Backlash, which actually got done about close to an hour ago. I'm a little bit of a delayed, um, trying to catch up on everything because I was down the shore for the day. Um, so I had to do some things when I got home. But the show is over. It got done at 9:45, five-match show, and this is the kind of show where it's hard to assess. And by the way, if you're like, what the heck is he wearing on his nose? I'm wearing a nose strip. Helps me breathe at night tremendously. You guys should definitely try it. But um, regardless, you'll be seeing me a lot wearing this because it helps me really breathe at night, and it's really good for you. But um, this is kind of like the pay per view where it's hard to assess how I feel about it because there is so much good that happened on the show, but there is also a lot of bad that happened on this show as well. Um, I would say I'm gonna split it down the middle. Okay, I'm gonna be a good guy. Okay, I'm gonna be a good guy and say that overall it was a thumbs up show. I'll be a good person and say overall it was a thumbs up show. It was a solid pay per view. But I have positives and I have my negatives. Let's start with the positives. The positive is I actually thought this show flowed pretty nicely. I thought usually when it comes to WWE pay per views, the flow of the show, I hate it because of the 20-minute ads and the 5-minute video packages and showing celebrities and showing throwbacks and all this bullshit. I actually thought the show flowed pretty nicely tonight. It went by pretty smooth for the most part. Um, so I thought that was a positive. The first two matches were great. The United States Championship four-way was a banger, probably my favorite match of the night. And then the women's IC title match with Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria was really good. So that's a positive. And the other positive I would say for the night was the crowd. Usually with these shows, these crowds are international. The last 2 years, Backlash has been in France and it's been in Puerto Rico. So St. Louis had they had a big test because of the past two crowds the last 2 years for a Backlash show, and it wasn't better than those crowds, obviously, but it wasn't bad. St. Louis brung the energy tonight, and for a match that was so simple and basic with the Pat McAfee Gunther match, they were so into that match. I was amazed by that. I was so amazed by how much St. Louis was into Gunther and Pat McAfee. It was actually crazy. So those were the three biggest positives of the entire show. Let's talk about the negatives, shall we? And the biggest negative on this show was 4 out of 5 matches had distractions in it. And only one of them was good. The other three was not good. Jeff Cobb getting involved in the United States Championship match was a great moment. It was awesome. And we'll get to that very shortly. But the other three, with the Judgment Day bullshit and a Grande Americano, and then Michael Cole, I understand him going to ringside and cheering on McAfee, but him actually getting in the ring and then holding Gunther's leg down, getting involved in the match, so unnecessary. I thought that was absolutely, totally unnecessary. And by the way, that win did absolutely nothing for Gunther because they gave Pat McAfee so much offense in that match. I don't know why. Pat McAfee's not a regular wrestler at all, but they gave Pat McAfee so much offense. I have no idea who produced that match, but thumbs down. And then the main event. One ref bump is usually fine in a main event, but this match was so overbooked. It was very entertaining. I'll give him that. It was entertaining, but this match was so overbooked. And by all these distraction finishes and distractions in the match, it shows you Triple H's flaws in booking. And he goes back to the same well one too many times. And he's got to be more creative with his booking because it's the same finish. And we don't need distractions we don't need distractions in 4 out of 5 matches on these shows. We just don't. We just simply don't. And that was my biggest negative on the night. And there were a couple matches on the show that I didn't like, which was the IC match, the men's one, and the Gunther Pat McAfee match. I didn't like either of those matches. So I will say it was a solid show, though. Did I enjoy myself? Yes. Have I seen better shows this year? You're damn right I have. So we will get into it all. But I thank you guys for joining me here tonight. And before we do that, be sure to subscribe to the channel because we got a whole lot of stuff coming up, man. We got a whole lot of shows coming up in the month of May. Memorial Day weekend is going to be busy here on the channel. We have 2 shows. We have Saturday Night Main Event, and we have Double or Nothing. For the people saying, oh, we have NXT Battleground too. Nah. I will not be watching NXT Battleground. I will be watching AEW Double or Nothing the night before Memorial Day. So that's how I'll be spending my eve of Memorial Day weekend. So we have so much shows coming up. It's going to be awesome. Subscribe. I'm not posting consistently. I have a lot going outside of my life, but it is in a wonderful way. In a wonderful way, right? I just got into a new relationship. I'm spending time with my girlfriend who I care deeply about. We are hanging out as much as possible, spending some awesome quality time together. So if that is why I'm not like, I don't want to say inconsistent, but if there's nights where I'm here and I'm not here, that's probably why. So, but I love it. Life is treating me amazing right now, and I'm so thankful, and I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed, man. So, wanted to get that in there very quickly. And let's go ahead and get into the show because we have a lot to talk about, man. We start off with the U.S. Fatal 4-Way. And there was reports earlier in the day where they had the match card leaked. And the IC Championship men's match was going to kick off, which I'm glad that was not the first match on the show because that would not have been a great way to kick off the show. This was. We had LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, or we had LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, and your United States champion, Jacob Fatu, in a 4-way match for the United States Championship. And they're having a great match already, but this is where things are really picking up. Jacob Fatu is on the top rope. Drew McIntyre sits up. He sits up. McIntyre does. Throws Jacob Fatu right onto LA Knight, but Jacob Fatu gets up immediately, gives Drew McIntyre the hip attack, hits a suicide dive on the Damian Priest. This crowd is standing on their feet for Jacob Fatu. It is actually insane how over this guy is. And we eventually know what's going to happen now, especially after tonight. He hits a swanton bomb onto Drew McIntyre. Crowd is going crazy again. And then LA Knight hits the BFT. And then Damian Priest comes in, south of heaven chokeslam onto LA Knight. Drew McIntyre hits the Claymore, but Damian Priest falls right onto LA Knight, and McIntyre is able to break it up at 2. All 4 guys are getting a standing ovation. So, Drew is standing up, and he sees LA Knight's about to stand up. And he goes for the Claymore, and he hits LA Knight with a Claymore kick. Referee counts 1, referee counts 2, and Damian Priest pulls the referee out of the ring. Now, commentary on here is saying this is another championship that Damian Priest has cost to Drew McIntyre. I'm like, Damian Priest did not cost Drew McIntyre shit because they're in the same match together, and a fatal 4-way is no disqualification. So, I'm sorry. Am I just being stupid? Or did Drew McIntyre, or did Damian Priest not cost Drew McIntyre the match? Because Damian Priest is in the match, and it's no DQ. If Damian Priest was not in the match, and he comes in and drags out the referee, fine. That's a fair explanation. That's totally a fair explanation. But they're in the same match, and it's a no DQ. And Michael Cole is rambling on commentary how Damian Priest has costed Drew McIntyre another championship. So now they're fighting in the crowd, while Knight and Jacob Fatu are in the ring, and they're on top of a crate, and Damian Priest hits a South of Heaven off the top of this crate through 2 tables down below. And I did not see this when it happened, but Drew McIntyre's head did not hit the table. Drew McIntyre's head hit the floor, and he was getting checked on later in the night. It was reported that he was getting checked out for a head injury. So that's scary stuff, man. I hope Drew McIntyre's seriously okay, because those things aren't a joke. So that's it for LA Knight, and that's it for Priest, and that's it for Drew McIntyre. They're done. They took each other out. LA Knight has laid out Jacob Fatu with not 1 elbow, but 2 elbows off the top rope. And he lays Jacob Fatu on the outside, on the announce table. And as he goes for this elbow drop, Solo Sikoa comes out and drags Jacob Fatu off this table. And Fatu is roaming around ringside, and he goes to stalk Solo, and he gets hit with a big clothesline, and it's fucking Jeff Cobb. This crowd went crazy for Jeff Cobb, and he threw Knight to the ring post, into the barricade, and he threw him into the ring post again, and he hit a splash onto Knight into the ring post. It looked like he hit his head on the ring post, which he did, but it was pretty funny. And he throws Knight into the ring, and he tells Jacob Fatu to pick up the pieces. And Jacob Fatu is standing there confused. He doesn't know what just happened. And he goes in the ring. He hits the moonsault, and he pins LA Knight to retain the United States Championship. I think we got a heel. I think we have a turn coming in the near future where they are officially going to make Jacob Fatu a babyface, which they should, because this guy is so damn over with the crowd. He should absolutely be a babyface. And Solo and Jeff Cobb should turn on Jacob Fatu. And the Jacob Fatu, not the Jacob Fatu, the Jeff Cobb debut was great. And it's going to be another guy who outshines Solo Sikoa. because they brought in Jacob Fatu to be the enforcer of Solo Sikoa, and Jacob Fatu is on his way out. He's not going to be with him anytime longer. And Jeff Cobb is now going to be his replacement. And Jeff Cobb, no doubt in my mind, is going to outshine Solo Sikoa. And we're going to be in the same situation very soon with Jeff Cobb as we are now with Jacob Fatu. So I don't know where this is leading to. It's probably leading to a match between Jacob Fatu and Solo, which we all know who's going to win that one. But tonight, great opening match. This was probably my match of the night. Best way to kick off the show. And the rumors are true. Jeff Cobb is in WWE. We get a Night of Champions promo for June 28th in Saudi Arabia. And then we go to the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Lyra Valkyria defending against Becky Lynch. And the story to this match was simple. Becky tried everything in her power to knock off Lyra Valkyria. But Lyra did not give up. She kept kicking out. Becky tried to cheat. It did not work. She tried to hold on to the rope for a pinfall. It did not work. She tried to hold the tights for a pinfall. It did not work. She got a steel chair to distract the referee. She messed with Lyra Valkyria's man on the outside. And then she goes for the turnbuckle. And Becky takes off the turnbuckle, and Lyra goes for she dives onto the second turnbuckle. And then gets a manhandle slam, and she kicks out. By the way, she kicked out of 2 manhandle slams. And then Becky is furious. She is furious, so she tries to roll up. Lyra hits a Angel's Knight, I think her finisher is called, but she kicks out. And she goes for a roll-up. Lyra kicks out. And Lyra reverses it to her own roll-up and pins Becky. Immediately after the match, Becky snaps. She attacks Lyra. Adam Pearce is screaming in her face to get her to get Lyra to get off Lyra, and it seems like the feud's continuing. It just means we're gonna delay the inevitable, but that Becky Lynch is gonna win this championship. So it's fine that she didn't win tonight. I'm happy she didn't win tonight, but we're just delaying the inevitable here. That Becky Lynch is going to be the person to beat Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And it's probably going to be the next time they have a match. So, this match I thought was really good, though. I thought they had a really good match, so shout out to both of them. We had the Intercontinental Championship on the line. Penta against Dom Mysterio. So, the first half of this match was really good. You have these guys doing crazy bumps. Dom hits a suicide dive into a tornado DDT on the outside. Dom hit an Oblivion onto Penta, which it actually looked pretty clean. Penta's hitting some sick offense. And he hits a Mexican Destroyer onto the apron. And after that, the match goes downhill. The match went downhill from here. Because out came Carlito to distract the referee. And then Penta gets 2-on-1 attacked by JD and Finn Balor. And Finn Balor takes too long to get the chair. And the referee spots them. And he kicks all three of them out. As they're leaving, Penta goes and hits a dive over the top rope with the referee talking to the Judgment Day. So, crowd thinks Penta's got this won, and Penta goes back into the ring. He hits a super kick on the Dom, which Dom sold the shit out of. And then Finn Balor gets on the top rope again, or he gets on the apron again, and as Penta goes to the top rope, here comes El Grande Americano, and he hits a headbutt onto Penta. Dom hits a frog splash, and Dom retains the Intercontinental Championship. Predictable, but too many distractions. And this is a match where I didn't think we needed the Judgment. We were gonna get it. I knew. This fucking fly's bothering me. Or I knew we were gonna get the distractions, but we didn't need them. And the end result was always going to be El Grande costing Penta this match. And the match could have been way better. That's all. This match could have been way better than it was. We have CM Punk announced for Raw on Monday, and we have announced 2 weeks from tonight, on Saturday night main event in Tampa, Florida, Jey Uso will defend the World Heavyweight Championship against Logan Paul. That's probably the main event for Saturday night main event in 2 weeks. So, we go to Gunther and Pat McAfee next. And I'm like, I cannot wait to see this beating that Gunther is about to put on Pat McAfee. And after this match is over, you would have everybody was expecting Pat McAfee to be either stretchered out or helped to the back, chest all red. Nope. We got none of that. We got Pat McAfee getting too much offense. We got help from Michael Cole, which was not necessary. And at the end, Gunther showed respect to the commentators, where he should have done the exact opposite. He should have beat them up even more. He should have beat up Pat McAfee even more. We should have gotten even more heat on Gunther. Maybe they're doing that on Monday. I don't know. But this win, this match, did absolutely nothing for Gunther. Nothing. So, we have chops early on. Clotheslines, headlocks. Gunther has a headlock on McAfee in front of Michael Cole. McAfee slaps Gunther. Gunther slaps him back. Hits McAfee with a German suplex. Michael Cole is standing the entire match. He's sweating bullets over at the commentary table. And then Gunther picks up McAfee. And McAfee's hulking up. And Gunther goes for a sleeper hold. And McAfee, he's avoiding it. He gets out a sleeper. And then he gets another German suplex from Gunther. And then we get to later on in the point where Michael Cole, he wants to beat it. He wants to go in. And he wants to help out Pat McAfee. He wants to help his friend Pat McAfee. And McAfee, he's about to get hit by another German suplex, but he lands on his feet. And this guy had the same comeback all match long. It was punt kick, punt kick, punt kick. It was another punt kick. It was a chop. It was another chop. It was another punt kick. And Gunther kicked out at 1. And Gunther stands tall. And he's laughing at McAfee. And now these guys are going chop for chop with each other. And who would have thought that that Gunther was going to be in a chop fest with Pat McAfee, of all people. And now they're going elbow for elbow. McAfee is giving these weak ass punches, and he gives a kick and a super kick, and then he goes for another punt kick, and he gets hit with a power bomb. And then after that power bomb, he gets put in the Boston Crab. Michael Cole gets up from the commentary desk to start encouraging McAfee. Gunther grabs Michael Cole, drags him into the ring, starts toying around with him. Wade Barrett's on commentary by himself. Gunther goes to put Michael Cole in a commentary position, but till Pat McAfee hits another weak boot to the face. Gunther kicks him in the face one more time. And then McAfee rolls up Gunther, and Michael Cole grabs Gunther's foot to try to cheat for the win, and Gunther kicked out. And Gunther did not like that, and then Gunther wins with a chokehold, and they protect Pat McAfee. Seriously. Pat McAfee is not a full-time wrestler in the WWE. He's not even a wrestler, period. Why are we protecting Pat McAfee? Just have Gunther pin Pat McAfee. It's not hard. And then after the match, they have Gunther show respect to both Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, which is the last thing that should have happened. And the thing coming out of this is we should have gotten even more heat on Gunther. And we did the exact opposite here. Now what happens on Monday? Is Gunther still going to be a dick to them? Is Gunther going to start being a good guy? I don't know. But I will say this. Some people were entertained by it. And St. Louis brought the heat for this match. That was the best thing about this match, was the crowd. And I've said it the past couple weeks. How good the build, the build, I said it on Monday. The build was too short for this show. And it was very hard to get excited it was very hard to get excited for the show because of the build. However, the best built match was Gunther and Pat McAfee. And some people were entertained by it. Some people thought the match was good. Some people thought the match was great. That's great for them. I was not a fan of this match. I did not like this match. Sorry. It's just my opinion. Not a fan of this match. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? I truly have no idea. So Gunther wins. And we go to the main event. WWE Championship. Randy Orton challenging John Cena. And it actually felt surreal that we got a match between babyface Randy Orton and heel John Cena. And a little bit of the 12-year-old in me came out in the beginning of this match. Because I'm like, I cannot believe in my lifetime as a wrestling fan, we got a match, a main event match between a babyface Randy Orton, good guy Randy Orton, against a heel John Cena, bad guy John Cena. It's always been John Cena as the babyface and Randy Orton as the heel. And now the roles are reversed. And seeing this, it felt surreal. It really did. So, in the beginning, we got a lot of stalling. A lot of stalling. Headlocks, and collar and elbows, and shoulder tackles, and a lot of slow offense, which is fine, and it was expected how I expected the match to be. I expected this to be a very, very slow match. And I would say things picked up when John Cena went for the AA and Randy Orton reversed it into an RKO. And boy, we are just getting started with RKOs. Because in this match, John Cena hit 3 attitude adjustments, Randy Orton hit 2, and Randy Orton hit 5 RKOs in this match. To John Cena alone, Randy Orton hit 5 RKOs. So in a total, we had 5 attitude adjustments, 2 of them from Randy Orton, and 5 RKOs. Very, very much of a WWE style main event. So the second RKO was John Cena going for the shoulder tackle, and for some reason, he runs to the other side of the ring, like not going straight. He runs right, and he gets hit with an RKO. So now, the bullshit happens, where we get ref bumps, and a ref bump on the outside. The referee hits his head on the steel steps. Randy Orton hits an AA on the announce table. The table doesn't break, and then it does break. And Randy Orton grabs another table and hits another AA on the John Cena through the announce table. And then we have a new official that comes down, and we have another official that gets hit. So that's 3 ref bumps. And we have all the agents coming down and getting hit with RKOs and RKOs and RKOs. And let me just see if there's other things that I'm missing from this match. Let me see. The finish was Randy Orton was going for the punt. And R-Truth comes running down to stop him. And Randy Orton is frustrated at R-Truth. And he RKOs him. And then Cena hits a low blow onto Randy Orton. Clocks him over the head with the championship. And that's the way the match ends. So, I thought it was a good match. It was entertaining. But the ref bumps were too much. Too many ref bumps. 1 was fine. We did not need 3 ref bumps in this match. And then of all fucking people, R-Truth is the person that costs Randy Orton the match. And then get this. There's been reports that came out today, I think, that John Cena and R-Truth are planned to have a match together very soon. And it seems like that's going to happen because R-Truth got attitude adjustment through through a table at the press conference. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. R-Truth has been treated like a jobber ever since they lost the tag team titles to the Judgment Day when he was with The Miz. And I hate comparing companies. Okay? I hate doing it, but I gotta do it here. Giving R-Truth a match for the WWE Championship in 2025 is like giving Billy Gunn a match against Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship. It's absolute. It's so ridiculous, and I'm so not a fan of it. And it's gonna be a 5-minute match. It's gonna go 5 to 10 minutes, and yeah, people are gonna eat it up because they love R-Truth and they love Cena, but really, I'm not a fan. So they'll probably do it. They'll probably do it on Saturday night's main event and get it done and over with. So a lot of critiques, but I'm a good guy, so I'll give this show a thumb. I'll say it was a solid show. I'm gonna get out of here though. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers that celebrate. Happy Mother's Day to my mom. We'll be celebrating that tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel. Comment down below your thoughts on the show tonight. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Follow me on Twitter and TikTok, Colin_Joseph, and I will update you guys on Twitter. What my schedule is going to be for this week, the days I'm going to be posting, and all that stuff. And I hope you guys have a great night. Cherish the moments. And I will see you guys in the next video. So have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy and love wrestling.